folks, Pipe Man 1861 here. My gosh. It's been a last couple of days, let me tell you. Before we get into the adventures, I was smoking some Riddy's Corner from Strauss Tobacconist in my Missouri Meerschaum hardwood poker with a nice little red acrylic bit. It's good stuff. Story time. Growing up, my grandpa always kept bees. He always had a really big garden, and that was just something he really enjoyed. And to help with the garden, he kept beehives for pollination, one of his hobbies. Anyway, when I was growing up, he had beehives out at my mom and dad's house, which is my mom's parents, is my mom's father. And he he would come out and take care of the bees. Me and my dad would go out and take care of the bees a lot too. And I really grew to appreciate those little buzzy suckers. I don't know if you've ever seen a honeybee, like a magnified picture of a honeybee. They're kind of cute. They're all fuzzy. They have a fairly cute face for a bug. And they don't sting you unless you really give them a good reason to. They're actually fairly friendly. Particularly when they know that you're the one who's bringing them sugar water every morning. They really love you whenever you do that. There used to be one that would, I assume it's just one that would come out of the hive real quick. It would bzzz. It wasn't warning me away, it was saying hi because it knew I was bringing sugar water. Like a little flying dog. What you bring me, what you bring me. So, anyway. So for a long time we had bees over there, and then they all died off one winter, whether it be from the cold or they might have had the varroa mites or something else. It's hard to say, but they decided not to get more bees, and so they sold off all the hive equipment and all that fun stuff. Had a two-frame honey slinger, and sold the whole kit and caboodle. Well, my wife has wanted bees for a long time. I really hadn't thought about it much, and of course this is getting kind of late in the year to start up bees. Well, last night, or yesterday afternoon, I was at work. I just started my lunch break later on about 3 o'clock, and she sent me a Facebook Marketplace advertisement for decently established bee colonies. And the price wasn't bad. Particularly not. It was about the same as just a package of bees, but these are in their own hives and they are better established. They're not nuke hives either. They're full-size boxes. Hive supers, whatever you want to call them. So I messaged the fella and I told him I would take 4 of them. Gotta figure with 4 hives we'll feed them sugar water to help boost their chances of making it through the winter, and hopefully they'll be okay. Anyway, so I don't own a pickup truck. The biggest vehicle I own is the old Ford Expedition. And of course, if bees are kind of a two-way street, what you do whenever you get a beehive is you seal up the hive entrance with a strip of duct tape or something like that, just so the most of the bees. You wait till the evening when most everybody's in home getting ready for bed, basically, and you seal up the hive entrance so that you don't, so everybody doesn't come out to see what's going on. And then you can pick up the hive, load it up in your truck or whatever you're doing, take them home. You set them up where you want them, and then you take the tape off, and they do their bee thing. Well, even with that tape, there are still cracks and crannies for bees to get out. And a couple of those hives had a few more cracks and crannies than I was used to. So we loaded them up in the Expedition, one hive, and I didn't have any protective stuff on. I have a veil. I don't have a suit, but I have a veil. I did not bring it. Probably should have, but I didn't. And so I had nothing. I was dressed just like this. Well, the last hive I put in just happened to be the one that I put on the passenger seat. There were a bunch of bees on the bottom, underneath of the bottom board, crawling around. I don't really know why. They just decided it would be a good idea, so why not? So, whenever I picked the hive up and set it in the seat, a few of those bees got smashed, which kind of made me feel bad. But that kind of ticked them off. So I shut the door and got in the driver's seat, started it up, and the bees were going kind of crazy. They were buzzing around because they had never been in an enclosure before. They didn't know what was going on. They had never seen glass. So they were bouncing off the windows trying to fly through them, and they were all freaked out. Well, one little bee, poor little thing, was really scared. And it didn't intentionally set out to sting me, I don't think, but it ran into my arm. And I think it got scared because it felt that I was alive. So I figured, oh, that must be the cause of our trouble. I will try to kill him. Well, little sucker stung me right on the forearm here. I was like, and honeybee stings really don't hurt horribly bad. It feels like getting a needle stuck in your skin. Well, if you're allergic at all, man, the next couple of days are miserable. And I got a refresher in my memory that I am a little bit allergic to bees. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's this arm kind of swole up. I don't know if you can see or not, but that arm is a little bigger than this one. So the little sucker nailed me pretty good. It's not terrible, but it has a fever in it, and it's pretty swollen. It'll get better next few days. Itchy. Anyway, all the bees got home safe. No other stings, no other incidents. Although I will say, it was dark at this time. Driving all the way home, it was an hour home. Driving all the way home in a closed vehicle with a bunch of bees crawling all over you. And I'm not scared of bees. Like I say, they're not like hornets. Hornets are just nasty. They have no redeeming qualities. But honeybees are kind of friendly little suckers. But they're curious. So they were like, oh, this is a new person. Let's check him out. So they were landing on my head and running through my hair, and one of them kind of got up inside my pant leg, and I was like, don't you go any higher, you. It decided to leave pretty quick, thankfully, because if they get pinched, they sting you. And as would I, but yeah. So it was a little bit unsettling, I gotta admit. I was pretty well exhausted by the time I got home. Buttoned up. I did button up my collar so they wouldn't fiddle around much down my shirt collar, because that's one place I did not want to get stung. Anyway, I got them home safe. They're all sitting over here on a pallet, side by side. They're going in and out. They're doing their bee thing. So I'm going to order a couple of 4 sugar water feeders It's just a mason jar with a bunch of holes punched in it and the lid, and they can crawl inside, take a little drink. It's kind of like a hamster feeder for bees, hamster waterer. So I'm going to get a few of those for them and start helping them get their resources boosted up for the winter, make sure they have a good fighting chance. And next spring is when we might get some honey, if everything goes well. I'll keep you updated on it. Should have smoked my pipe while I was driving home. It'll calm them right now. Or made them hyper. I don't really know. I don't know how nicotine affects bees. It probably would have mellowed them right out. They would have been all of them would just sitting on my shoulder, just leaning back. You know, is that a cherry blend? Oh, that's really. But anyway, folks, that was my adventure for the last couple of days, and got home tonight, checked on the bees, checked on the chickens. We're really accumulating a whole lot of wildlife for a third of an acre. Yeah, well, it's fun. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, folks, I better let y'all go. This is Pipe Man 1861 saying goodbye. Good luck. May the good Lord take a liking to you. I'll see y'all again real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye now. Happy smoking.